Yo everyone, what's going on? It's been a while since I checked out STL Amphub. Now these guys add a new amp, effect, cabinet. They're adding something new every single month. And this month they've just added in the Omegaworks Granophyre, the STL Amp Vitrifire. And this is just an absolute balls to the wall, ganged out amp. I personally know it from Mick Thompson of Slipknot, being a signature artist playing this amp. And there's also a pretty famous other amp sim out there with this Granophyre amp sim. But anyway, I've grabbed my Drop G Solar with Fishman Fluence Moderns, and I've written some caveman riffs, so let's check them out and then we'll do a complete walkthrough of the new amp from STL Amps, Vitrifire. I had a ton of fun writing that one. It's just like some old riffs that I'd write for my old band, just like completely in my wheelhouse, Australian metalcore, that kind of stuff. If you liked it, let me know in the comments below. Now I know this is a little bit of a shallow thing and an odd thing to mention, but just looking at the amp, this looks like a really quality model. It's obviously the real amp looks like this, but the way they've done things, and I mean, you know that amp sims, there are so many out there now, so all these little things stack up. So I'll do a quick walkthrough. You've obviously got your gain knob, high and low. I'll put up on screen what I read from the Omegaworks website, because they're going to be able to talk about that stuff better than I can. From there, you've got your typical tone stack, the bass, mid, treble. You've got a level knob there. That's just going to be straight level. You've got a voice knob. Again, I'll paste what the Omegaworks website has because they'll explain things better than I can. You've got a master volume there. If you're not acquainted with how this stuff works, the master is actually going to affect the tone because it's got some power amp modeling going under there, whereas the level shouldn't affect anything. So it's pretty much just a relationship between the gain, the master knob, and then you adjust the level to taste. Finally, at the end there, we've got the depth and detail control. And then finally, they've got this feedback switch. Now, I know this guitar is in drop G, and it's going to sort of reduce the range of the amp a little bit, but I wanted to include it because when I see this kind of amp and this level of gain, I really think about that 7-string ultra drop tune stuff, and this is in drop G, which is very much 7-string turf, so it's going to react a little bit differently to like a drop C setup to a drop G. So I'll include both guitars. We'll play around with a more normal guitar a little bit later. We'll check out the cabinet. So it's all inside of Amphub. I don't have any external IRs running. I'm running a V30 with a 57. You can see the blends on screen. Now for the modulation effects, I've got a delay and reverb lined up here. In the last video I did, I talked about the wireless MIDI controller that I have at my feet right now. And so cool because you can see the effects are off now. And if I want to flick it on, I can just turn the delay and reverb on. And then if I want to turn them off, I can do it completely hands-free while I'm doing these demos. So if you want to check that out, I'll leave a link to that video above. Alright, so these settings are sort of what I've landed on. Still has a ton of low end, but I know when I bring in a boost pedal, it's going to help shave that stuff off there. But before we do all that, let's check out the voice knob. So it's currently set to the low position, and we'll just hear what changing it does. I think it's really dialed in for a lower string instrument when the notch is down. Again, if you were playing in E standard or drop C or drop D, anything that kind of thing, that voice knob is going to be a little bit different. So it's kind of nice to be able to shift that mid Q. All right, let's start off with the tube screamer. I don't want to go too aggressive on the settings because obviously this amp is insanely gained out already, but just a little bit of kiss on the level, a little bit of kiss on the drive. Let's just take a listen to how it's cleaning up the low end and just make it a little bit tighter and just pushing the tone in general. There's still a ton of low end there. Let's mess around with the settings. That's pretty good. Just add a bit more drive. That's already a very good tone just with a simple tube screamer. Let's turn it off. It's similar, but there's just all that low-end crud that it's shaving out. All right, let's take a look at the next one, the Exotic EP booster. I've got the bright switch on, so again, we'll take a listen. It's not doing a ton, and I actually had it there because I was dual wielding it with the other tube screamer. So this is everything together. Found by stacking it with the bright switch on, just gave it a little bit more cut, just shaved a little bit more of that low end. You can do infinite combos of this stuff, but sometimes, you know, stacking two things with a tone like this, not unreasonable. Now, the last one we'll take a look at is the TC Electronics Integrated Preamp. If you've heard of a Dirty Tree, go check it out. I've got a video on the Dirty Tree. Insane pedal, especially for these kind of tones where you just want to decimate that low end. This kind of pedal is going to be your best friend. All right, let's just take a listen to it with nothing going on. So it's not doing much when you switch it on. And then we just savagely roll out this bass. All right, take a look at the settings that I got there. This is pretty gnarly sounding stuff. It's pretty much the exact same tone that I used in that mix in the intro video. Just full beat down moshcore stuff. And also the same tuning, but just racking my brains to think of metalcore tunes. I'm going to play some Prom Queen. Alright, so I just switched over guitars. This is the Balaguer BB Woodman. It's got the Balaguer pickups. It's in drop C. I was going to change the patch over because obviously things are going to sound a little bit whack. But then I thought this is just an interesting, same guy, same hands, just warmed up, exact same everything, but different guitar, different tuning, different pickups. You can hear how different it's sounding. And sometimes people just attribute this stuff to like amps. Sometimes the presets don't translate. I know I'm going off on a complete tangent here, but that's what happens when I change guitars. Have a listen to how different this is sounding compared to the Fishman Fluence ones. Interesting stuff. probably a weird thing to do in the middle of a video, but I find this stuff fascinating. Maybe you do too. So I've zeroed everything out. I've got a tube screamer on, so very light tube screamery sort of settings. I've got those other ones off. I've just zeroed everything out again. We'll take a fresh approach dialing in a patch with a drop C guitar. So I actually need to like add a little bit more of those lows in. I'm going to reach for the depth here. Alright, so this is pretty much what I've landed with these settings, drastically different to the other guitar and other tuning setup and everything. So let's take a listen. My tap dancing needs to get a little bit better with this foot controller, but I can, flick that delay off and on. It blows my mind that the gain knob's only around there, and it's just... That's like optimum gain for me. Any more is just, it's not going to do you any favors. Might feel a little bit better, but so much compression is added, and it just ugh, makes things a bit mushier. And then this is just like literal insanity. I have no basis for this, but I really enjoyed the Lynx Bad Cat amp, and to me this is like the brother amp to that, but the more like slightly metal focused. But to me there's an overlap in tone. I could be completely wrong, but just that vibe I get, that American distortion or amplifier vibe, I just get that little bit Bad Cat DNA out of this, or Lynx Bad Cat I should say, and yeah, I really enjoy both of these amps. I don't know why it took me so long, but Honey, I Scooped the Mids. Gonna be the last tone that I pull with this. Take a listen to this, and hear how a mid-scooped sound comes out on the Vitrifier. So yeah, there's a quick look at the new STL Tones Amp Hub version of the Omegaworks Granophyre amp. Pretty cool stuff. I've only been using this for a couple weeks now, so it's a little bit hard to say whether it's going to be one of my favorites, but so far upon using it, I know how I mesh to amps, how I gel with things. I really enjoy this one. Like I said, it reminds me of that Lynx Bad Cat amp, which I still enjoy to this day. Been filming for a while now. I'm not too sure if I already mentioned it in this edit or not, but I'm on STL Amphub Beta Tester, so I beta test this software. Do with that information what you will. I'm still unbiased. I think it's been over a year since I've done an amp hub video. I saw this one and I was like, damn, I need to do a video of this amp because I really, really enjoyed. So let me know your thoughts about this one, how it's all sounding and everything. And if you like the amp in general, if you use the other popular amp sim version, you know, interesting stuff. I really enjoyed this one. And as always, if you stuck around to the end of the video, you're a legend, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.